U.S. Citizenship Test, Part 17, Guardians of Freedom. The snow had stopped falling, and the sky was clear as Mark walked toward the community center one last time. His citizenship ceremony had taken place just a few days before, and now he was returning to see Anne for the first time as an official U.S. citizen. The journey had been long, filled with learning about rights, responsibilities, and the importance of unity. But now that he had taken the oath, Mark felt a deeper understanding of what it truly meant to guard the freedoms he had learned about. Today's meeting wasn't about preparing for a test. It was about reflecting on the role of every citizen as a guardian of those freedoms. As Mark entered the study room, Anne greeted him with the brightest smile yet, clearly proud of how far he had come.
Mark, congratulations. You're officially a citizen. How does it feel?
It feels incredible, Anne. Everything we talked about, everything I've learned, it all feels so much more real now. I'm not just thinking about rights, I'm thinking about how I can protect them.
That's exactly the mindset of a true citizen. Today, let's reflect on how each of us, as citizens, plays a role in guarding the freedoms and values that make this country strong. It's about understanding that freedom isn't just a given. It's something we all have to protect. Question: what is one responsibility citizens have to protect the freedoms outlined in the Constitution? A. Stay silent when rights are violated. B. Speak up and defend those rights, even when it's difficult. C. Let the government decide which freedoms to protect.
Answer: B. Speak up and defend those rights, even when it's difficult.
Exactly. Defending freedom often requires courage. Citizens have the responsibility to protect their own rights and the rights of others. Why do you think it's important for people to speak up when they see rights being violated?
I think it's because if no one speaks up, those rights could be taken away. We can't take freedom for granted. We have to make sure everyone is treated fairly.
That's right. Silence in the face of injustice can lead to the erosion of freedoms. Protecting rights isn't just the job of the government. It's the responsibility of every citizen.
Mark realized that protecting freedom wasn't just about enjoying rights, but actively ensuring that those rights were upheld for everyone. It wasn't enough to stand by. Citizens had to be willing to act, to speak up, and to challenge injustices when they arose.
Now, let's talk about how the legal system plays a role in defending those rights and how citizens can engage with it. Question: what role does the judicial branch play in protecting individual freedoms? A. It makes laws. B. It interprets the Constitution and ensures laws are applied fairly. C. It enforces the laws.
Answer: B. It interprets the Constitution and ensures laws are applied fairly.
Correct. The judicial branch, especially the Supreme Court, plays a crucial role in interpreting the Constitution and making sure that laws do not infringe on individual freedoms. Why do you think this process of interpretation is so important for protecting rights?
Because laws can change, but the Constitution is the foundation. If the laws go against the Constitution, people's rights could be at risk, so the courts have to step in to protect those rights.
Exactly. The courts are there to ensure that the freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution are upheld, even when laws or policies might challenge them. It's a critical part of maintaining balance and fairness in the system.
Mark now appreciated how vital the judicial branch was in safeguarding the freedoms he had come to cherish. It wasn't just about making laws. It was about making sure those laws respected the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution.
Let's explore another important way citizens can protect freedom by ensuring free speech remains strong. Question: why is freedom of speech essential to a healthy democracy? A. It allows only the government to express opinions. B. It enables citizens to discuss, criticize, and challenge their government. C. It prevents people from disagreeing.
Answer: B. It enables citizens to discuss, criticize, and challenge their government.
Correct. Freedom of speech is one of the most important ways citizens can hold their government accountable. Why do you think being able to criticize the government is so important for democracy?
Because it keeps the government in check. If people can't speak up, the government could do whatever it wants without being challenged.
Exactly. Open dialogue and the ability to question authority are fundamental to ensuring that democracy thrives. Without free speech, citizens wouldn't have the power to protect their rights or push for change.
Mark saw now how essential free speech was, not just as a right but as a tool for maintaining freedom. It allowed citizens to challenge injustice, demand transparency, and ensure that their voices were always heard. Anne leaned back in her chair, her voice filled with pride and a sense of completion.
Mark, you've completed your journey to citizenship, but the work of protecting these freedoms continues every day. You've learned that it's not just about enjoying the benefits of living in a democracy. It's about ensuring those benefits are preserved for everyone.
I understand that now. It's not just about my rights, it's about all of us working together to protect them. I'm ready to do my part.
And I have no doubt that you will. Remember, being a guardian of freedom isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, everyday actions that protect the rights of everyone in this country.
As Mark left the community center, the crisp winter air reminded him of how far he had come. He was no longer just someone preparing for a test. He was a citizen, fully committed to protecting the freedoms and rights that made this country what it was. He knew that his role as a guardian of freedom would continue throughout his life, in both small and significant ways. And he was ready to take on that responsibility, knowing that every citizen had the power to uphold the values that defined the nation. As Mark reflects on his new role as a guardian of freedom, consider this. How can you help protect the rights and freedoms of others in your everyday life?
Question for the audience: why is freedom of speech important for protecting democracy? A. It allows citizens to hold their government accountable. B. It restricts people from sharing their opinions. C. It only benefits the government. Freedom of speech is essential for ensuring that citizens can voice concerns, demand change, and protect their rights in a democracy.
Here are 5 words and phrases related to the theme of U.S. Citizenship Test. Part 17. Guardians of Freedom.
Guardian, a protector or defender, especially of rights and freedoms, ensuring that these values are upheld. Judicial branch, the branch of government responsible for interpreting the Constitution and ensuring that laws are applied fairly and justly. Accountability, the obligation of government officials and institutions to be answerable to the people for their actions and decisions. Interpretation, the process of explaining or understanding the meaning of laws and the Constitution, particularly in the courts. Free speech, the right to express opinions without censorship or restraint, a fundamental freedom that supports the protection of democracy.